All right, we're live. Let me get things set up. I did check discussion questions right before we started, and I don't see anything in there. So I'm going to wait for just a minute till we get someone here, hopefully. If not, I will continue anyhow just because I do record these and put them up. I have to warn you, I thought about doing this outside tonight because the weather is so nice. But then I decided my bottle kid would like scream for his bottle and be really distracting. So I'm back inside, and now the cats are being all crazy. So if you hear a ruckus, it is the cats. I promise. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give it just a couple more seconds and then I will start. And like I said, if you come in while I'm talking, it's going to be recorded. Not that you can see me saying this right now. It's really weird doing this when I'm talking to no one. All right. In case anyone is new, I do want to give a brief introduction to who I am. My name is Teresa Perrin, and I'm running for House District 51. I've spent 32 years in the field of education. I've taught 5th through 12th grade. I've taught special education and English for about equal number of years. And I just retired from teaching at the end of this school year. I'm also a mostly retired farmer. I was lucky enough to buy a small farm that surrounded my acreage. It gave me the opportunity to truly appreciate the challenges of farming. Farming life is often romanticized, especially with livestock, but it is hard work and it requires a level of uncertainty and gambling that I am personally not good with. I'm still on my acreage. My herd of goats is a lot smaller than it used to be, but it still can be a challenge to keep up with them some days. I have never run for any office before, so this has been a huge learning curve. Never could I have imagined myself running for public office. I was content to keep on teaching high school English, live on my acreage with the goats, but here I am asking people to trust me and send me to the state house. I started this journey almost 9 months ago with the idea that we can't just give seats to Republicans without even putting a candidate up against them. District 51 is a deeply rural district, and I began conversations about running with the acknowledgement that it would take a miracle for me to win. I had no illusions that it would be easy, and I questioned whether or not it was even possible. But I am looking forward to serving the people who live in this district. I really do believe in servant leadership. Our representatives should be working for the good of the people, not some party ideology or their corporate sponsors. And that's why I want to have these conversations to know what's important to people, to know how to better serve. One huge topic of concern I hear from people is the economy. And it's understandable that this is a concern in the state. Our economy is currently ranked at the bottom of the nation, and personal income growth is not much better, ranking at 48th. It's no wonder people can't afford basic necessities. One thing I truly want to bring to the table is fiscal responsibility. The state is now in its second year of spending $1 billion more than it's bringing in, and that is not sustainable. Our rainy day funds might cover this right now, but it won't last more than a couple more years. There are two huge issues driving this deficit spending that I want to talk about today: expanding school vouchers and cuts to taxes. The school voucher program is estimated to cost the state $330 million. It's sold as parents' choice, but parents already had choices. They have open enrollment opportunities from one public school to another. I recently talked with West Marshall superintendent when I was touring the school as part of my 40-year class reunion. He shared that the district has about 150 students who open enroll to participate in some of the amazing school to work programs they offer, like auto mechanics and masonry. They come to participate in the robotics program. So there is already a choice. In Marshalltown, there's a Catholic school for K-8 students. They provide a quality education. I have had a lot of their students, when they come to the public high school, and they're well prepared. So there are choices for parents. The problem is taking money and giving it to schools with zero accountability. Literally, there are no rules for how the money has to be spent. It could all go to whomever's running the school to take luxury trips. There are no rules and no oversight, and that's the problem. And the money is given to anyone. It's not just a type of scholarship for those who cannot afford it. It's money the state does not have to spend, and it pulls resources from our public schools. As a teacher, I also have to point out that many of these schools do not have state accreditation. Oh, and I have to announce that I found out today that I've been endorsed by the Iowa State Education Association, and that's something I'm very proud of. But I'm trying to stick to the economy tonight, so I'm going to have to come back to that another night. The second area I wanted to discuss this afternoon is taxes. And I know taxes are not popular, but they are necessary. Taxes are how the state provides services to the people of the state: roads, schools, parks, social services, police, fire. There's a lot the government does for us that we don't really even think about. When the state went to a flat tax in 2025, it completely devastated the income for the state. While it was touted as a way to cut taxes for people, the average household saw a $24 tax cut, while millionaires saw an average cut of $23,471. And this is why we need to have a graduated tax system. I absolutely do not want to see taxes going up for working and middle class people, but I'm pretty sure those millionaires can spare that $23,000. They've even suggested eliminating taxes completely, which would still be a bigger benefit to the wealthy. When you put money in the hands of working and middle class people, it goes right back into the economy. On the other hand, the wealthy hoard money. We need to make sure we have the tax dollars coming in to provide the services that benefit everyone. And I really do mean everyone. Sometimes you look at a program like SNAP and it's criticized as a drain on the economy because it helps those below the poverty line. But if you need a reason, besides just making sure children have access to food, SNAP also helps the economy in general. When someone gets SNAP dollars, they spend that money at the local grocery stores. Children get to eat. It supports the economy. A booming economy helps the millionaires, so everyone wins. Republicans have had complete control of the economy long enough to clearly demonstrate that what they're doing is not working. But they're trying to make it harder to reverse these tax cuts that have sunk our economy, send it into that economic death spiral. They want to change the state's constitution to require a 60% vote to raise any taxes. It's going to be on the ballot this fall. It would be really difficult to ever correct the course and return to a graduated system, the system that helped build that rainy day fund that is rapidly being depleted. We're at a unique moment where we have the opportunity to rebuild the economy in this state in the way we want. As much as nobody likes paying taxes, we need to implement a system that asks people to pay a fair amount. We have to make sure that we're voting wisely this fall. We can decide whether we want corporate farms that do not return money to the community, or if we want small family farms that keep the money in the state. As an aside, those small family farms could grow more food and have fewer nitrates entering the waterways if done properly. We can decide whether or not we want data centers that use up resources and drive up our utility costs without providing jobs. And often they don't contribute to the economy due to tax breaks as well. Would it be better to incentivize small businesses whose profits will stay in the community? We are at a point where we have to decide how to envision the future and elect the people who will work on creating that reality for us. I know I don't have an economy ranked dead last in my vision for Iowa. There's a lot I would like to work towards, and I no longer think it will take a miracle to win District 51. Did you know in the primary there were more people who voted for someone other than the incumbent than voted for him? And 40% of the district is no party voters. That's a lot of voters out there waiting to see what I have to offer. We can do this, but I can't do it alone. I need people to talk about this campaign. I need people to put up yard signs. I need people to host meet and greets. I need people to help with door knocking. I need people to donate. I need people to vote. If you are interested in helping, you can find my link tree in the comments below. it will take you to all of my socials, my website, and ActBlue. So if you are interested in helping, there are all kinds of different ways to do that. So let me see if I have any comments down here or questions. And it doesn't look like there are any so far. So if there are no questions, then we can call this good, and I will actually get this posted here pretty soon. So thank you so much for coming.